But my mind is not ready for this. Says my mind is so wavery. It's so difficult to control the mind. Because mind is so wavery, it's so unstable, wavery, and I cannot focus my mind. I cannot make my mind stay in a place like the lamp in a place where there is no, where the wind is not blowing and the lamp is burning. No, the flame, like the flame where there is no wind. In that state, my mind is not there. It's so difficult. It's okay. You tell me you do this and bring your senses to one place, but my senses goes all over the place. And since it is so flickering, the mind is so, mind gets swayed into all type of temptation, and it does a lot of mistakes. There is a lot of unawareness. You are asking me to control this mind. It is like controlling air, controlling wind, which is next to impossible. Says you can't control the wind which is blowing. Like that, the mind is like that. It's all so nice, sweet to hear about what happens when the mind is controlled, but it's not easy. So then the Lord says, Lord Krishna tells, I agree, I understand. Asamshayam, no doubt. Asamshayam mahabaho mano nigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. Yes, I understand. I understand your difficulty. No doubt, it's very difficult to control the mind. But through practice, you can achieve it. Abhyasa, through practice and through dispassion. It says, dispassion here means when you are no longer attached to things, then your mind can easily come away from it. You know, like a child is so attached to the mother. Child looks where the mother is and holds on to her skirt and or her garment and moves with the mother all the time. But as the child grows older, now it wants to be free, it just walks around, plays around. Once in a while it remembers the mother. So the attachment to mother has taken a different proportion or different stance, different dimension. Right? So you are so attached to the toys when you were young, isn't it? Then what happened? You got dispassion with the toys. Then you were so attached to the games. Then a little dispassion came from the toys. Like this, our attachment moves from one thing to another thing, another thing, another thing. No elderly couple, senior couple is holding on to the toys and crying. So this is my toy, don't take it away from me. No. They didn't make an effort to leave the toys. So they don't say, oh, I'm been very dispassionate about the toys. No. There is a gradual dispassion that dawns in life. There's not a single being that is not experiencing dispassion in the planet. Right from the birds to humankind, dispassion is part of life. But it comes in various forms at various times. When you consciously acknowledge the dispassion as a prime factor to move life. Do you see what I'm saying? When you are, then you are able to control the mind. I remember in our school days, and when people who don't get a ticket to go to a movie, they would sit and cry as though the heaven has fallen on their head. They, you go to a movie theater and the tickets were sold out. The movie was houseful. And they would be devastated. I would wonder what has happened to them. So what? Tomorrow you can see, next day. This generation is much more dispassionate because they can get any movie at any time. Just on the press of a button. They're not so passionate about it. I have seen rural people who would, if the hero is losing a battle, they will take their slippers and shoes and throw at the screen. I've seen people who'd go and tear the screen. It has happened several times because they're not understanding that it is just a drama, a movie, an act. So when you see life as an act, dispassion starts growing in you naturally, and certain amount of dispassion helps you to be centered, to be stable, to be clear in your intellect, to be soft in your mind, in your soul, in your being. So Lord Krishna says, I do understand, do agree. Mind is very difficult to control. It jumps all over the place. It's so many temptations come its way, and it get easily swayed away, sucked into a situation or a temptation. But you can control the mind by practice and by dispassion. As dispassion and practice are essential part of your life. Nobody can escape it. Your brushing your teeth is a practice. Every day your cooking is a practice. Your driving a car is a practice. Everything needs practice. Every habit you have cultivated has come out of practice. And every skill that you have acquired in your life is coming out of practice, isn't it? Music, you need practice. In the same way, dispassion. Dispassion makes you grow in life from one step to another step to another step to another step. It makes you grow higher. And you have grown. You are so attached to your mother, and then you are so attached to your toys, and you grew out of it, and you grew out of it. Then you are so attached to your friends in the school, and then you grew out when you went to college. Where are your schoolmates, classmates? Where are your friends in your school? They've all disappeared, isn't it? And then you go to college, you're so attached to your friends in your colleges or your school teacher. That used to be case. I don't know how it is now. The school teachers, sometimes children, I've heard about children who do not want to go to the next class because the teacher of class teacher is so good, and they were so attached to the class teacher. I've heard instances like that. Children would cry to go to from 8th standard to go to 9th standard. And then you grew out of that school. What is the last send-off day? What do you call that? Graduation day. A few decades ago was a very moving ceremony. People would cry, hug each other, and party and talk all night, all day. They miss each other. It was graduation ceremony, or there was a send-off. Send-off? What? Farewell. The farewell ceremony for the school was a very moving thing. I don't know whether it still happens now, today. There is farewell ceremony must be a very joyful thing now. Well, I'm out of the school. Thank God. Don't have to face this teacher again, the headmaster again, or the madam or class teacher. That was not the case a few decades ago. It was a very moving ceremony, farewell ceremony. You were attached and then you moved on from there. And then you fell in love with somebody and then you got married and you have kids. Now your attention have shifted from them to the kids. With your friends to your own family. And life continues like that. Like that dispassion comes unknowingly, being unnoticed in your life in a very subtle way as an undercurrent. Then when you grow older, one day you will die. You have to die. Everybody has to die. So your companions, your people, your husband, your wife, your whatever, father, mother, everybody one day will have to go. And they go and you are sad for some time and then life moves on. You move on. Isn't it so? These things happen. So an undercurrent of dispassion is always there in life. But when you consciously acknowledge it and combine it with your practice, then the mind becomes stable. That's what Lord Krishna says.
我先看到这，就是前面的，就是这个 Krishna 就有说到说啊，我们怎么样，就是进入这个一个你很想要的那一种境界，也就是呢，就是你的你有一些一点点正确的知识，只要一些些就可以有正确的认知之后呢，然后呢，当你的心智呢，就是有曾经碰触过这个本我之后呢，它会像镭射光一样，就是我们的心智会很专注，然后呢，然后你会看到你的习性，或是你一些不需要东西呢，它就会离开。那这时候呢，这个阿朱娜就会说，好，我同意你说的，就是但是他不容易做到。就是一个人呢，就是当他就是有这种经历，就是他必须前面呢，他先有觉察，就是他有觉察到说，哇，就是原来我们的习性或是心智是怎么回事，他才会说不容易做到。如果一个呢，就是没有尝试过的人，他会觉得这个就是很多东西会视为理所当然。但是这个阿 j 娜呢，他就代表我们就是一样，就是走在这个路上。就会说，可是我不确定你说的这个呢，我是否真的可以做得到？那这个Krishna 就会说，所以他是 Krishna 就是以神性的眼光来看待，他就会说，其实呢，我们每个人都有经历过，只是呢，你有一点点这个角度，一点点技巧呢，你去辨认出，其实你生命中呢，它已经发生过很多次了。这个不动心，就是过去呢，你的心智执着一些事情，可是呢，它是很自然的，你有随着你的经验呢，你就没有执着。小时候你执着这个玩具，现在长大之后，没有人就是会紧抓着这个玩具。所以呢，你曾经就有这个经验，只是呢，你要需要一点点这个神性的眼光跟角度呢，去注意到说啊，曾经是这样。其实有一点点这个经验呢，就会带给你生命中很多力量。所以他就说，透过练习跟不动心呢，你就可以掌握我们的心智。这很奇妙，这个是薄伽梵歌，对吗？这是 Krishna 说的。但是在一个瑜伽经里面，帕坦加里呢，一样说一样的话。你只是他说只是顺序呢一点点不一样。帕坦加里呢是从告诉你说 Yoga 呢就可以合一。那如果不是呢？如果你不能辨认这个合一的话，你先从不是来辨认。所以就是帕丹加里里面呢，是先告诉你说啊，如果你不是在这个的话，你就会在变调心智里面。然后呢，你比较认识说什么不是合一的话，那就是变调心智。但你就可以，你从不是里面去认识是。 所以在这个里面呢，它就是当你认识变调心智结束之后，他才告诉你说，诶，那如何抑制变调心智？它不是告诉你去除变调心智，或是说这个是不好，而是说你是否可以控制跟不能控制这个变调心智呢？我们如何让它不要让它来控制我们？就是说你无法掌控，就是当一个人不知道的时候，他才会被这个心智拖着跑。所以第一个他需要的不是去抑制，而是辨认出什么是变调心智。那当你辨认出的时候呢，某种程度你就是你可以辨认出，你才可以所谓的控制，或者是不被他所操弄。所以他就说，如何抑制这个变调心智，一样就是透过练习跟不动心。啊，不要傻。好，就是我们每天现在所做的这个对。好，谢谢秀秀老师，祝大家周一上班愉快。好，这个对，我们明天继续学习。
谢谢老师，谢谢老师。